We're going to section B, which is the vocabulary development part. Like I said, reading instruction is very important to successfully answering questions. So read the instruction. Complete each of the following sentences with the most appropriate of the options lettered A to E, numbers 11 to 25. We're going to, alright, so we're going to start from question 11. Government plans to dash more youth in skills development. A. Force. B. Initiate. C. Instruct. D. Socialize. E. Train. The answer to this question should be E. Government plans to train more youth in skills development. We go to question 12. I bought this item at a very high A. Cost. The answer is cost. B is discount, C is measure, D is percentage, E is rate. Question 13. The boy infected with dash had red spot all over his body. Of course, that symptom is synonymous to measles, so the answer is C. The other wrong options are A. Bird flu, B. COVID-19, D. Polio, then E. Tetanus. We go to question 14. Doctors agree that drugs have psychological dash on users, advantages, effects, problems, signs, symptoms. The answer to that question is B. Effects. We go straight to question 15. The man who was dashed the dreaded disease was quarantined, was affected by, attacked by, infected with, infused with, injected with, was infected with the dreaded disease. And that's option C. Question 16. Giving dash to the poor is encouraged by all religions. Giving alms to the poor. So that's the answer. That's option A. We have option B, donations, C, gift, D, grants, E, loans. These options are wrong because is all possible help. It can be money, it can be clothes, but help basically to the needy. It's what that stands for. We go to question 17. Question 17. The dash recommended a pair of reading glasses for Mary. Okay, A, dentist, B, gynecologist, C, oncologist, C, optician, E, surgeon. The answer is D, optician. Go to question 18. When your train arrives, it will pick you up from the A, airport, B, jetty, C, park, D, station, E, terminal. The answer is D, station. Train, station. We go to question 19. The football match began as soon as the dash blew the whistle. A, captain, B, coach, C, linesman, D, referee, E, umpire. The answer is D, the referee moderates the football match. Question 20. When you dash a book from the library, remember to return it. A, borrow, B, collect, C, lend, D, loan, E, take. The answer is A. You borrow a book from the library. Question 21. B's story building was designed by a famous A. architect, B. builder, C. mason, D. surveyor, E. Tyler. The answer to that question is A. architect. Question 22. The dash checked us in when we arrived at the hotel. A. chef, B. hostess, C. manager, D. receptionist, E. waiter. The answer is D. receptionist. Go to question 23. The dash presented enough evidence against the defendant. A. attorney, B. judge, C. lawyer, D. plaintiff, E. suspect. The answer is the plaintiff. The plaintiff is the complainant, the person who brought the case to the court. Of course, before bringing a case to the court, you must have gathered enough evidence to use against your defendants. We go to question 24. The sick girl was dash malaria. A. analyzed for, B. assessed of, C. diagnosed of, D. evaluated for, E. x-rayed for. The answer is diagnosed for malaria. So that makes C the correct option. Go to question 25. The dash was inspected before the plane took off. A. path, B. rail, C. road, D. route, E. runway. The answer is runway. Now we go to close passage. It's called close. You have a passage with dotted lines, and you're filling the dotted lines with the appropriate option to complete it. The instruction to that says, in the passage below, the numbered gaps indicate missing words. Against each number in the list below the passage, 5 options are offered in columns lettered A to E. Fill each numbered gap with the most appropriate of the options, numbers 26 to 35. Alright, so let's go to the passage. A sick person goes to a hospital for, what should that be? A. advice, B. analysis, C. diagnosis, D. treatment, E. visitation. Of course, the answer is C, which is diagnosis. Alright, back to the passage. On arrival there, he goes to the outpatient department to obtain a card, and from there he is ushered into a doctor's study or dash room. What should it be? Consulting, dressing, emergency, injection, operation. The answer should be a consulting room. Let's go back to the passage. Okay, after listening to his complaints and examining him, which may involve listening to sounds in his heart and lungs using a dash, what the doctors use for that? Let's find our answer. Microscope, otoscope, scanner, stethoscope, thermometer. Of course, the answer is stethoscope. That's D. Back to the passage. Checking his body, dash, using a clinical dash. Alright, so we're taking 2 together, 29 and 30. Checking his body, What are they checking in the body? Of course, they're checking A, function, hotness, pulse, reaction, temperature. Should be the body temperature. Through, what do they use? Cannula, catheter, endoscope, protoscope, thermometer. The answer is E, thermometer. Let's go back to the passage. Checking is dash and blood dash. So we're going to take 31 and 32. 31 and 32. Checking is A, ears, B, eyes, C, lungs, D, nose, E, pulse. The answer is B. Hold on, please. Let's check that again. Let's check the passage. That's for 30. Checking is dash and blood. Okay. So the answer should be E. Checking is pulse. And is blood pressure, which is D for 32. Now we go back to the passage. The doctor may be able to dash what he is suffering based on the dash. Okay, 33. The doctor may be able to detect what? Detect. That's the answer for 33. That's what we want to detect. What is suffering from based on the, what has the doctor done? That's 34. Discoveries, manifestations, researches, studies, symptoms. The answer should be E, symptoms. Then the last one, 35, let's go back to the passage. Okay, and the doctor's finding, if however he is not very sure of these, he may send the patient to the dash department to have his specimens tested. Where is that? Ophthalmology, pediatric, pathology, psychiatric, surgical. Of course, the answer is ophthalmology, which is A. Alright, so we've come to the end of section B. We're going to section C. Section C, grammatical accuracy. The instruction says complete each of the following sentences with the most appropriate. I'll take that again. Complete each of the following sentences with the most appropriate one of the options lettered A to E. Numbers 36 to 65. Let's go straight to the question. Question 36. The businessman deals dash children's clothes at, for, in, on, with. So the answer is C. Deals in children's clothes. Question 37. Who else has heard the story? A. Above, B. Behind, C. Beside, D. Besides, E. Over. The answer should be D. Besides me. Another word for besides is apart from me. So that makes it appropriate to complete that sentence. Question 38. Dari and dash will travel tomorrow. A. Her, B. Him, C. I, D. Me, E, us. Okay? So the answer is C. Daria and I will travel tomorrow. It's appropriate because the position left vacant is the subject position, and in this sentence, I is the subject pronoun there. So we'll go straight to question 39. Mother bought dash mangoes. This is order of adjectives when you have more than one adjective to modify a noun. So the best, the mnemonic for ordering adjective is nosascon. Okay, some people have different variations, but I prefer using nosascon, which is number, opinion, size, age, shape, so on and so forth. So based on that, we have these options. Option A, B, C, D, E. A says big 5 ripe. B says big 5, big ripe 5. C 5 big ripe. D ripe big 5. E ripe 5 big. Right, so going by nosascon, which means number will come first. The only option where the number comes first is option C, where we have 5. So the right answer is option C. Question 40. The accident victim was rescued by some passers-by. A. Passers-by. B. Passerby. C. Passerbys. D. Passers-by. E. Passers-bys. Alright, this is pluralization of compound, hyphenated compound nouns. And for this particular question, D is the answer. How do you deal with questions like this? In case you encounter a question on plural of a compound word, whether it's the separate one or the hyphenated one, you choose out of these two words that form the noun, there is a content word there. There is one of the nouns that carries the meaning, while one sounds like the adjective, although both of them together function as a naming word, a compound noun. But one carries the meaning while the other describes the other, like Chief Justice. Chief there is describing the justice, not just the regular justice, but the Chief Justice. So the key word there is justice. So if you apply that here, see that passers by. Passers is what carries the meaning. By tells you where. So these are people who walk probably on the sidewalk, and that makes passers by the correct answer. So when you come across this, that's the principle to use to get by. We'll go straight to question 41. Which of the following prefixes can be used with the word adjust to form a new word? A. This. B. mal. C. miss. D. pre. E. on. Alright, the answer is A. No, sorry. I mean B. Which gives us mal adjust. We go to question 42. Question 42. Active voice. Someone stole my book. Passive voice will be my book dash stolen by someone. Okay, so the answer options we have option A had been, B has been, C is been, D was, E was been. For this question, the right answer will be option D, which is was. So what I will give you is my book was stolen by someone. We go to question 43. Question 43. Before we go there, let's quickly talk briefly about principles that can help you understand active and passive voice. If the sentence is in the active voice, but change it to the passive voice, note the verb structure in the active voice. if the verb in the active voice is just one, there's only one verb there, by the time it's becoming passive, the verb will become two, which means you're going to import an auxiliary verb or a helping verb, and the auxiliary verb or the helping verb you're bringing in will be determined by two things. The new subject, remember the passive voice is you're bringing the object in the active voice, you're making the center of attraction or the focus in the passive voice. You understand what I'm saying? For example, in this active voice, someone stole my book. The subject is someone, and my book is the object. That was what received the action. But in the passive voice, you want to bring the stolen book to limelight. You want to put emphasis on it. So we had to switch the position of the object and bring it to the subject position as the focus of the sentence, not as someone that's really doing the action or performing the action. So the new subject now will determine the number. If it is singular, then that means you're going to pick a singular auxiliary verb. If it is plural, you're going to pick a plural auxiliary verb. But my book is singular, so that was why we picked was, because was is singular. Then remember that it's going from active to passive. In this active, we only have one verb, which is stole. That's the verb we have here. We only have stole. So if it's going to passive now, the verb will become how many? Two. How do we know what kind of verb to, auxiliary verb to import? The subject, like we said, is going to help us because the new subject is singular, which means it is one. Okay? Now, we have picked a singular auxiliary verb. Then what about the tense? This verb in the active voice is in the past tense. So that means that we're going to pick an auxiliary verb that is in the past form too. So a singular past auxiliary verb is what we're supposed to pick, and that was. So my book was stolen by someone. I hope that will help you if you encounter questions on active and passive voice. Question 43. My father worked with the company for 20 years before he retired. So the answer, option A, had, B, has, C, have, D, may, E, will. The answer to the question is had. My father had worked with the company for 20 years before he retired. This is the past perfect tense. Alright, question 44. Joy to work regularly. So the answer should be option A, came, B, come, C, comes, D, has come, E, is coming. The answer there should be C. Joy comes to work regularly. Go to question 45. Direct speech. Our teacher is from Lagos, the boy said. Indirect speech. The boy said that from Lagos. Option A, his teacher is. B, his teacher was. C, our teacher was. D, their teacher is. E, their teacher was. Alright, let's talk briefly on this. Now, the boy said that the subject there is the boy, so that's singular, which nullifies option D and E because of this plural possessive adjective. It's only one person, so that takes this out completely. It also takes C out of it because R is talking about more than one person, but the person speaking here is just one, a boy. So that leaves us with option A and B. What's the difference between option A and B is and was. Now, the principle in direct and indirect speeches, when you talk about direct speech, you're quoting what someone said verbatim. using the person's exact word. Now, indirect speech is you're reporting it. You're not using the person's exact word. And when you're doing that, some of the things said by the person will change. For example, the verb tense. It's the primary thing that changes in direct and indirect speech. So if I say something, let's assume we're having a discussion now, and I tell you that I'm hungry. By the time you're telling someone else, of course, our discussion must, be in the past. So when you're telling someone about what we discussed, you can't use the verb I used because it was already in the past. So you have to change the verb in my sentence to past tense. But there's an exception to that rule. And the exception is there are some things that are universal, or there are some things that don't change. Gender will not change. Parents will not change. The shape of the earth will not change. So if we say, my geography teacher told us that the earth is round. If you're reporting that, you can't say, geography teacher told us the earth was round, because even when you're talking, the earth is still round. That doesn't change. So if you look at that here, our teacher is from Lagos. So it simply means that the teacher is an indigen of Lagos State. As at when you're reporting that, they say that the teacher would have denounced his origin or coming from Lagos State. It's most likely not possible. So that is one of the things that don't change. Like you say, I'm a Nigerian. You can't say I was a Nigerian. I don't think that happens. The best you can do is take another nationality and add to the one you have. So we have some people have a dual nationality. So in this case, the right option will be option A. The boy said that his teacher is